Welcome back to the High Value Man Conversation. I'm your host, Erin Alejandrino, and this is episode number 6. Vision points the way. Yes, your vision points the way. Your vision wraps up your vocation. This is the reason why you're here on this planet. It encompasses your values. It is stacked with so many victories, and it allows you to deter and stay away from your vices, the things that are holding you back. A man without a vision is a lost, wandering man that is never going to be a high-value man. He is truly living in the passenger seat as Robin. He is the passive-aggressive Pam man. Pam is the passive-aggressive man, and I got a brand new sign. If you guys are watching on the IG, on the YouTube channel, it is a big neon sign right behind me that says, "Stop Pam. Stop Pam. Stop the passive-aggressive man." Pam is the problem that is facing masculinity these days. So many men out there say they want more. They want a better relationship. They want the woman of their dreams. They want work that inspires and empowers them. They want to be respected by the world of men, but they are just waiting. They are waiting for that knight on a white horse to come in and swoop them up and to let them know that everything's going to be okay. They are just waiting for the right opportunity rather than going out and creating it. They're just waiting for the perfect situation, for the stars to align, for their horoscope to line up, and for all these situations to be perfect. But you see, passivity shows up by perfection. Passivity shows up by inaction. Passivity shows up in hesitation, which I'm going to do a whole nother episode on. But today's conversation for this high value man conversation is all about vision. You see, a man that has a clear picture of what he wants goes after it with assertiveness and aggressiveness and truly make it happen. And a vision is simply just a blueprint and a game plan. If you don't have a blueprint and a game plan for your life, how can you ever expect to have the woman, the work, or the world of your dreams? A blueprint is the guidepost for your best life. But if you don't take the time to know where you are going, where you are now, what skills you need to acquire, and the type of man you need to become, who you need to become for this vision to come to life, how can you ever expect for it to show up in your life? So I have all my coaching clients, all my men go through a process called vision assignment process, where they're writing out their 3-year picture. They're writing out what their life looks like. They're writing out all the things that they want, because desire points the way. Desire gives us direction of what's truly on our heart, what's in our mind, what we truly want. We can look to other people and we can become envious and we can become jealous and we could want all those things. But really, that desire points the way. It gives us a general state of direction from where we are now to where we want to go. And without that desire, without that want, we can never truly calibrate and come up with the sequence of what needs to happen. So all my dudes, they take some time to write out their vision. They take time to write out what it means to be the best version of themselves, what they want their life to look like in retrospect 3 years down the road. And so they start out this assignment by writing out what their perfect life looks like 3 years from now. And I want to share with you guys a couple prompts, a couple things you can begin doing to help clarify, create, and to create a very crystal clear vision that will compel you, move you, and allow you to start building your best life. Before I get into that though, before I talk about where we're going, your want and your desire, let's talk about where you are right now. If you're listening to this conversation, this high value man conversation, you've been following the content for any amount of time, I've been talking a lot about the Pam problem, the passive aggressive man problem. And Pam is so passive with everything that he wants that he's not even realizing, it's not on the radar for him yet, that he truly needs to take imperfect, immediate action to start making his dreams and his life come to reality. And so I got to ask you a question before you begin building a vision of your best life. Where are you now? What's missing? What do you not have that you truly want? Is it the confidence? Is it the articulation, the communication? Is it the clarity? Is it the brotherhood, the friendship? Is it the business? Is it the bank account? Is it the woman of your dreams or the respect from the world of men that you truly believe you desire and deserve? What are the things that you want that you don't have? The best way to start building your vision is to write out the things that are missing now. It's so much easier traditionally for most of us men who lack some creativity or haven't tapped into creativity in a while to list out all the things that are wrong. And so as you start doing this vision exercise, I would love for you to take a minute to write out all the things that are wrong. That wrong will point the way to what you want, because the opposite of what's wrong is what's right. And so as we start crafting the vision, start out with what's missing in your life. And I don't want you to spend too much time focusing on this. Just spend a few minutes really pointing out what's missing across the major areas of your life, your faith, your fitness, your family, your finances, to have the life of fulfillment. What's missing in your business, your bank account, in your body? What are things you don't have that you want to have? And then start building the opposite and opposing list of all those wants, all those desires of where you're going. So now we got a general blueprint. We have what we don't want. We have some of the things that we do want. Now the big looming question as you are working on this vision is, what is it going to take to get to where you want to go? And when I ask this question, I want you to think about it from this capacity. Who you are now is not yet good enough, is not yet deserving enough, has not earned the weights, the reps, and the sets, has not put in the time in the gym, has not put in the time and the effort in regards to your business, has not built enough confidence to truly enjoy the trophies of the great life that is coming down the road. So I want you to ask yourself this question: who do you need to become to make your best life happen? And when you ask that question, think about this from a very strategic standpoint. What skills do you need to acquire? And who do you need to start spending time around to adopt those skills? I want to share something with you guys. About 8 years ago, I hired a business coach. I invested every single penny I had. John Bowles out of Scottsdale, Arizona. He's now got an amazing marketing company, Aventive Media. We worked together intimately for about 1.5 years. This was back when I owned a gym, Legacy Fitness. I had a brick and mortar gym location, and man, it was a dream come true to have an MMA gym. It was a huge facility, like 8,000, 9,000 square feet. Beautiful MMA mats, boxing ring, Muay Thai, all kinds of awesome stuff. And it had just the coolest, eclectic group of instructors and trainers. There was truly a dream come true to have this facility. But it was also very early on in my entrepreneurial venture. And this was my biggest entrepreneurial venture. And so there was a couple struggling points. And so whenever I struggled, one thing I learned early on is that I don't have to struggle and suffer in silence. I can always raise my hand and ask for help. And so I found a business coach that could help align me with some of my core values, help me understand some of the systems and sales and marketing and processes that'd be necessary to truly scale a business. And so I found this coach at the time, and he had me do this exercise. And again, it was this about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And the first exercise he had me do was creating my vision, a vision for what my best life, my perfect life looked like down the road. You see, I was in the middle of some pea soup. And I use pea soup as a metaphor because imagine if you could stand in some pea soup. It is just kind of this sludge, this green, yucky, exorcist vomit kind of sludge. You're just standing in it and you're like, I don't like standing in this, but I also don't know which way to go to get out of this pea soup. So I was standing in this pea soup of life. My business was not where I wanted. My body was not where I wanted. I wasn't in the relationship that I wanted. Nothing happened. Nothing was happening in my life really that I wanted, other than the fact that I had the gym, but it wasn't even growing in the right way that I wanted. And so I had to picture something else down the road. And so he had me do this vision exercise, very similar to what I have my coaching clients do, where we fast forward down the road about what we want. And so I fast forward 3 years down the road. And this was, again, 7, 8 years ago. And I painted a picture of a life that had not yet happened. I spent some time really being creative, focusing on the things that I did want. I wanted to be surrounded by a collaborative group of men that were on path, that were on mission focus. I knew that I really needed to be around strong, healthy, masculine energy. I knew that I wanted to have a better body so that I had the energy and the enthusiasm. I actually looked the part. Here I was, a gym owner that felt very fraudulent because I was about 40 pounds overweight, heavier than I should ever have been, but I was trying to bulk. I was in a bulking phase. I was really just in an eating donuts every night phase, not really a bulking phase. And I knew that I wanted more financial freedom. I wanted more freedom in my time to spend more time in creative conversations, just like this. But all of this was just a thought. It was a dream. It was a desire. None of it was really happening yet. But I wrote it all down and I trusted the process. And I wrote it down, and he had me read it out loud. And when I read him my vision, it felt so far from the current life that I was living. It felt so far from the relationship I had with myself that it didn't even feel possible. It felt like a piece of fiction that I was reading, but I trusted the process. And he says, now, right now, we need to look at this from another perspective. We need to start building your daily habits, your routines, your exercises, your behaviors, your time and your relationships, your systems and your processes. Also, it matches this future vision, which means we got some work to do. If you want this life 3 years from now, there's some things that need to happen now for this to be possible or even plausible. And there are going to be micro things we do on a daily basis, but this vision points the way. This vision points the way. And this exercise that I did 7, 8 years ago, I'll have to find find the original document. It has been something that I've done every single year on my birthday. And the craziest thing about this, the original version of this that I wrote almost a decade ago now, it included this brotherhood that did not exist. I said, I want to be surrounded by a group of highly motivated, mission-focused men that are on path to making masculinity better. We have brothers inside of the judicial system. We've got brothers inside of politics. We've got brothers in governments. We've got brothers from all over the world, not just locally in the state. We got a brotherhood that is truly based on living wholeheartedly, because I knew that I needed this masculinity in my life on a consistent basis. I'm an only child raised by a single mom. I needed the brotherhood more so than anything. But here I am painting a picture that didn't even exist yet. I just knew that I needed it. I know that I wanted it. And remember, desire points the way. And I also painted a perfect relationship. I wanted a relationship with a queen that was on path with her own purpose, that was ambitious, that was in the healing space, the coaching space, because I pictured a vision of doing joint work with my person where we could have tropical retreats, where we bring couples into a whole nother realm of connection, because I believe the best battle we can ever fight as men is the battle at home, the battle with our relationships, the battle for our woman's heart, the battle for our own heart to truly live as our most wholehearted self. And so I believe that battle has to be taken at home with your person. And I also had this vision of this dream house that I called my Zen den, a Zen den, where I look outside and I'm surrounded by nature. Actually, the vision board that I wrote out on this as part of the assignment, there was a big rock structure and then a deck built out around it and two big trees in the yard. And I had all these aspects of this awesome house that looked out over a mountain range and had all these natural elements built into the wood. And I had indoor, outdoor areas where I could spend time with my pack and with my family. And here's the crazy thing. All of this 8 years ago, all of this vision that did not exist yet, I'm living it every single day now. I wake up before my alarm clock in a highly energized state. I hop out of bed and I step outside and I enjoy the sounds of nature first thing before the sun rises. And I've been rewriting that vision every single year on my birthday, on the anniversary of my birthday. And my life has gotten narrower and narrower and narrower and closer to this idealized vision. And I move the goalpost. Every year I move the goalpost down another 3 years towards something else in the future I want. My new current vision that I've written within the last 6 months, it's got a family involved. It's got a beautiful marriage involved. It's got more work with my partner, my queen. It's got more alignment in the brotherhood. It's got more conversations like this. It's got a big vision of the High Value Man Conversation podcast. This conversation having amazing interviews and guests over the next 100 episodes. It has all these aspects. And I know for a fact, because I've now proven it to myself over the last 8 years, that whatever I write down comes to life. And my friend, I got to tell you something, as a high value man, one of the best things you can do is have clarity of vision. Where are you going? Most men live by accident. They live by accident and have unclear goals. They have unclear goals, they have unclear deadlines, and they have unclear accountability as to when and if it will ever happen. And so they set this New Year's resolution bullshit where they say, you know what? I want something more. I want a better body. I want to have a more intentional time with my woman. I want work that is more meaningful, but they don't take action on it. And I can tell you, of all the exercises I've done over my personal development journey over this last 10 years, this vision assignment is by far the most powerful, the most purposeful, the most intentional, and the most effective if you truly take the time to do it right. And so as you begin thinking about the vision of where you want to go, I want you to start making a list of all the things that you don't like in your life, what you don't want. On the other end of that list, on the opposing side, is going to be all the things that you do want. Remember, desire points the way. The direction gives us insight as to what we need to develop. And then begin asking yourself the question is, who do you need to become? What skills do you need to adopt? What do you need to face to truly make that life come to life? What do you got to do? What do you got to do? I realized as I started writing this vision that I'm going to have to improve my communication, my articulation, my ability to share and market a message. And that's why I have really taken some time to work on my public speaking. I've done Toastmasters. I have taken every opportunity to speak in front of an audience whenever it shows up. In fact, I just signed up for an improv class, a stand-up comedy class. It's kicking off next week. I'm really excited to do. I've leaned into salsa dancing because I want to get over my fear of what other people think. I've done all kinds of challenges on a consistent, regular basis. Therapy, counseling, coaching. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into coaches and mentors to push me, to pull me, to drag me, to ask these tough, difficult questions of, Erin, what do you want? Where are you going? Who do you want to become? And what do you got to do to prove it to yourself that you are truly worth it, that you are valuable, and that you can make your great life happen? I got to tell you guys, there's nothing more worth it in the entire world than to wake up in the morning before your alarm clock in a highly energized state, to step outside and see what you created, something you wrote down a decade ago. But it begins by you taking the time to write it down. Write it down. Write down your vision, because the vision points the way. And I got to ask you a question, my friend. On your path to becoming a high-value man, what way, where are you going? What do you want? Who do you want to become? And what the fuck are you doing to make it happen? Next episode, we're talking about hesitation leads to devastation on the High Value Man conversation, and what you need to do to take imperfect, immediate action to move closer to your dreams and your desires, and to recognize very quickly and to realize intently that passivity shows up in many different ways. And maybe you don't want to identify with the Pam problem. Maybe you don't want to call yourself Pam. Pam is the passive aggressive man, passive with his hopes, his dreams, his desires, passive with women, work, and the world of men, and aggressive with his vices. And maybe you're not ready to fully admit that you've got a Pam problem. Hell, I got a Pam problem. I got a giant sign in my office right now that says "Stop Pam." A big neon 3-foot sign that is just blaring right behind me that says "Stop Pam." I got to stop Pam in its tracks every opportunity I gets. But here's the thing. Unless you are taking action immediately, and it's imperfect, consistently, all the time, on your hopes, your dreams, your desires, and following closely to your vision, your values, and living your life's vocation, my friend, I got to be honest with you, you got a Pam problem. So stay tuned for this next episode. And if you enjoyed this conversation, the High Value Man conversation, please do me a favor and rate it. Give me a 5-star review. Let me know what you think. And shoot me a DM. Shoot me a message on the Instagram and let me know what further content you'd like to see, what episodes you'd like to see, and what guests you'd like to see in regards to the conversations, the high value conversations you hope to have. Much love, many blessings, and we'll talk to you soon. Boom.